time again. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Tuesday. It's the PD Skillz Show, episode 3. My guest this week, 2/3 the PWO Trios champions and the Courage Pro Wrestling Tag Team champions, Airstrike, aka Hairstrike, Mike Forte, and Tyler. Apparently, he's not dead. Aero. What's going on, boys?
We're going back to that, eh?
You're breaking kayfabe already, right off the hop.
I told Tyler Hill last week, until I see Tyler Aero alive, he's still a piece of shit. But it has been no ring north, so this doesn't count. Tyler Hill's still a piece of shit.
Tyler Hill's still a piece of shit.
So before we started recording here, I actually had said my favorite moment of the podcast probably already happened because though we've met Tyler, I've never met Mike before, and that's his real voice.
It is. Not very many people actually believe it, that this is my real voice.
It's amazing. I want to buy everything from you.
Speaking of buy, you can buy your very own bottle of Airstrike shampoo.
Yes.
Contact us via social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Follow Tyler Aero and Mike Forte on social media and pick up your bottle of Hairstrike shampoo today.
I will fucking smoke to that. Beautiful.
You totally had this over my face. You were like, you were the focus.
But you're not allowed in. It's my understanding you're not allowed in any of the advertisement promo anywhere. It's there, short hair McGee.
Not anymore.
It was just the one video because we wanted to keep going with the joke. He ended up over bleaching his hair. He had to chop it off. Like it was falling out in chunks.
Oh yeah, it was bad.
And he was poor guy was getting frustrated.
Were you devastated though when you realized you had to cut it?
You know, on my end of things at least, like I had a feeling it was coming. I mean, now I'm at the point where I'm gonna eventually continue to dye my hair just because that's the look I've had for the last 2-3+ years. But now I think I'm actually just gonna, you know, put in the effort and pay to get it done professionally.
Now, I like when I first started wrestling, the first year of me wrestling, like in 2004, I had the long hair down to here. Now, I know you've wrestled some matches. Yes, beautiful. I miss it. Honestly, I cut it to get a freaking job. And then the day after I cut it, a job I interviewed for with the long hair called me back.
Wow. I actually have a very similar story. It was like my first job outside of working with my family. They wanted me to cut my hair. So I had my hair about this long. I had it dyed as well. I cut it for the job. I went to my college class. Everyone was almost on the verge of tears.
Oh, no.
I chopped off my hair. And the kick in the pants was I never got the job.
Oh, that's the worst. Yeah, and it's funny because other people seem to be more butthurt about a haircut than the person that gets it. Like I remember when I cut mine, first wrestling show I showed up. She was around before your guys' time there. Jackie Jones, she was just devastated because like I like switch conditioners every couple of weeks, whole bunch of stuff I probably shouldn't talk about on a podcast to take care of my hair. But I know you've wrestled a couple shows since cutting the hair there, Tyler. Have you found like you got to kind of change your style up?
Well, it's kind of hard because since then it's really just been, you know, some tapings, right? No crowd, no fans there, no nothing. So it's kind of hard to figure out if I need to change anything, you know, like, I mean, obviously.
For me, it was in the selling. Like when you've got long hair, you know, just a little, see as Mike does it there, just a little, and then boom, like $1 million, right? And then when you got short hair, you know, somebody clips you and you just go, with short hair, and they're like, what was that?
It's the animation that it gives. One person who didn't even need long hair. Remember when Dolph Ziggler had his hair like maybe just almost touching his shoulders?
Yeah.
But then again, like the guy could sell a DVD box set to internet pirates if he wanted to.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. So
everything looked like it killed him.
Yeah. And see where that comes into play, where I found is it's actually more of a learning experience over anything, as much as it's weird to admit to that, because now without that hair, now I have to use my face more. I have to use my body. I have to be more vocal about everything. You know? So it's kind of, in a way, it's a blessing in disguise. Like, I miss my hair, obviously, but I mean, it's one of those learning experiences similar with when we met at No Ring North, that was my first time in that kind of setting, right?
Yeah, hey, and like I said, that surprised me because when I'm going on a show with people and I haven't gotten a chance to meet up with them, see too much, I go, okay, well, what's this person about? And I was like, oh shit, that's a totally different fucking person.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I took that as a learning experience because I want to actually touch on something here because it's a very popular question in my personal life. I would say when people see that kind of shit, they always ask me like if I want to become like a full-time hardcore wrestler, and then they shit on it. And it's not even necessarily it's I don't look at it in that perspective. I like to look at it as like, because, and this is actually a funny analogy, I wasn't very good in school. Like,
Yeah.
I left high school to go to wrestling school, basically. So I kind of took wrestling as high school. It's an education. You have all these different courses. You have all these different styles of wrestling.
Okay.
So like, no, I couldn't handle 3-4 hardcore matches a week. But, it's one of those fields that now that I've stepped into there, I know I can hang there,
Yes, absolutely.
Like,
No, I get that. And Mike, what about you? Are you gonna take like a minor in hardcore? Are we gonna see you out there?
A minor.
It's something I want to at least do once.
Yeah.
The closest thing I've done to it, I've been in 2 ladder matches so far.
Yeah.
That's the closest that I've been to it, and we definitely scared some people in in our first one, and people thought I killed Johnny in the second one.
Yeah. Well, I remember in our first one together.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't in that second one. In our first one together, there was a spot plan. The ceiling was a lot lower than I expected it to be for one.
Yep.
And the ladders couldn't hold the amount of weight that I was hoping they would hold. Because originally it was going to be similar. No, not similar. I don't even know who else did this spot. But we're going to have a ladder propped up and one laid across the corner, the top rope in the corner. And I wanted to take a back body drop off the ladder through that one ladder.
Oh.
Which is an ugly bump, but we couldn't do it because the ladder wouldn't hold the weight. They held at max 200 pounds.
Yeah. So 2 of us on the ladder just kept twisting.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Oh, that's brutal. That's a scary moment.
So
I
on
grew
the
up a
fly,
fat
we ended
roofer,
up-
so I know ladders are nothing to fuck with when they tell you a certain weight limit.
Yeah.
My favorite was Justin Saint's reaction though, because before it, I was just kind of trying to figure out a spot now, I was like, well, the ladder can't hold the weight. So I'm like, I got to come up with something. So I'm setting up the ladder, and then I get Mike to set up a chair because it's the low boy ring. So I get him to set up a chair and lay a ladder lengthwise from the chair to the apron. And I'm just kind of standing on top of this. I think it was a 6 or 7 foot ladder.
I think we had 8-foot ladders.
Yeah.
in the match.
And I looked down and I'm just kind of like seeing how it's going to go. Because ultimately what it led to was being pushed off the top of the ladder to the outside through this ladder. And Justin Saint walks by as I'm kind of thinking about this and just seeing how it's going to go. Best reaction I could have gotten, because he just looks at me. He looks down. He looks back at me. You doing that shit? And I'm like, I think so. And he's
Oh,
like,
man.
He's like, fuck, be careful, man. And he just walks away.
So, which is absolute anarchy at that point.
Oh, yeah. Like, I love being on shows with Justin Saint. He's such a great guy. Him and Lionel Knight that day.
Yeah.
That was the first time I got to meet Lionel Knight. He instantly became one of my all-time favorite people in the business.
Yeah.
Instant.
You know what? And I gather that he's like, I haven't gotten to meet him yet. I see him a little bit here and there, but he seems like a good guy, and he seems like a really entertaining guy.
Oh, he's great.
Great guy. And when we came back after the match, like, he put us over huge.
Yeah.
Lionel, like, he loved the match we had against Fight or Flight. He complimented all 4 of us on it, even though there was a lot of things that we had to change on the fly. A lot of things went wrong in that match, but no one noticed, and it was like, oh, thank God.
our high spots made up for it, like your brain buster on the ladder.
Yeah. So
like
you guys mentioned Fight or Flight, full on confession time, because I was out of independent wrestling for like a good 5-year span, and I knew who they were from some matches they had with Warhead. I came back, I heard of Airstrike, and I'm like, I think, is that those guys? That I fucking completely got you guys mixed up. I felt like the oldest fart on the planet.
But I don't know about you. I'm gonna take that as a compliment.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Those
no,
guys-
absolutely. I mean, they're talented guys. I mean,
both of them are just incredibly talented. Like Von Vertigo, before the shutdown, he was touring in Europe. He had to come back.
Yeah.
Because they forced everyone to go home.
Yeah. And both just very knowledgeable guys. Like anytime, like, because outside of that ladder match, I got to work on Vertigo once in Fort Erie at Bordertown Pro.
Yeah.
Very helpful, because I'm, at the time especially, I was only used to facing mostly people that I trained with, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I was a last minute substitution because Aiden Prince couldn't make the show.
Ah, my boy.
Yeah, and Vertigo he shot me a message. He's like, there's a spot open, because we were trying to work each other for months, but no one booked it. And we had the shot to do it. We had the match. I was very happy with the match, considering we didn't have a whole lot of time to plan it, because the show was already like in the works. Like the setup was already done and everything.
Absolutely. And you've got a high paced style. Like I've always been a call it guys, but like with a lot of stuff like I see you guys do, like, yeah, that requires, a little bit of preparation.
Yeah, and I had like an hour and a half to get there. So by the time I got there, I had basically 15 minutes to put on my gear and go.
And Vertigo is one of those people, you can put that together in 10, 15 minutes, no problem.
100%.
Oh yeah, you can tell the guy's got a brilliant mind. Like he took a concept that, I mean, most of us were guilty of, everybody shit on, and turned it into a cool show.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
A lot of us did it. A lot of us were shamed for it. He took it and took his creative mind and made that something really cool that people actually enjoyed.
Oh, 100%.
And I think he kind of made it okay for everybody to have a little more fun.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, excuse me.
So speaking of other tag teams there, obviously that's a great matchup for you guys. Over the last bit, what's been some of the other tag teams you guys really enjoy working on the independents?
Oh, there was one. They're not necessarily a tag team, but we both absolutely loved the match when it happened. It was in Brantford. It was MCW. Okay. We got to work Tyler Turva and Corey Stone, which they're not a tag team, but they were put as a team for the match.
Yeah.
And they ended up working really well together.
They did.
And honestly, that's got to be in the top 3 for me.
Oh yeah, like that match with them in Brantford was an absolute blast. And then
what set it apart? Like, what was it for you guys?
We had a bit of it was our first like long tag match in a while. Like they gave us like a good like 15 to 18 minutes.
And that was our first time actually teaming in MCW as well, which is kind of like a second home for a lot of the Hamilton Pro guys.
Yeah, that was our official debut as a tag team in MCW.
Yeah.
And once the match was over, like they were just hooked from start to finish on the match. Yeah. And by the time we ended up winning at the end, they lost their minds.
And that was the big crowd too.
It's huge. Like the place can't fit that many people, but they were able to jam.
It was the right match, right atmosphere. It just everything felt right.
And honestly, I don't know why they wanted to do this, and I'm sure you'll know where I'm going with this. For some reason, and I still don't understand to this day, but I'm beyond grateful for it. Tyler Turva made me look indestructible that night. Yeah, this guy hit me with 3 or 4 false finishes and had me kick out of all of them.
Yep. He did the same thing for me during the heat when him and Stone were beating the crowd. They hit me with some big tag team maneuvers and like.
Yeah.
Good. It's good to see him pay it forward. Shit, I was around when Turva first started. He first started like in PWX and stuff like that.
Yeah.
When he had first gotten trained, and I was in his probably like first handful of matches back when he was still fucking hitting all New York spots. Oh yeah. RKOs and all of that, like before cutters became super common. So I mean, now you just think he's another guy that does a bunch of cutters the way he was then, but
now he doesn't do it at all.
He's evolved so much.
Oh, yeah. And he's somebody that when he was a part of Gut Check, I can't believe he didn't win.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that is a super surprise. He's come a long way as a talent. Yeah. He's definitely a very far stretch from the chicken leg fucking punk that I met on day one.
Well, because now we've had a couple matches with him. We had that tag match,
and we had the 6-man match at HWE.
Yeah.
And he blasted me. I'm going up to the top rope because I'm about to hit a big crossbody on. I think it was Justin Sane that I threw into the ring.
I think so.
He comes running, jumps off of Justin, goes to forearm me, ends up punching me almost completely off the top rope to the point where I had to grab the rope. He grabs my tights and pulls me back in, and he's like, "I am so sorry."
Yeah, but you know what? In that same match, and I'm gonna point fingers here. Someone broke Mark Wheeler's arm.
Oh, I felt so bad for that.
No.
I did a swanton dive to the outside. Wheeler caught me. He caught me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Him and Justin caught me, but like, I'm just going to use you as an example.
Yeah.
Wheeler was in front of Justin, and when he caught me, his arm was here. So his arm kept going this way, but his body prevented his arm from going any further. And my weight was
you know what though? Like, more times than none, I see the people receiving those moves, getting the injuries, and the people giving them. And I mean, not in the point of impact that we're trying to sell. It's usually something all fucked up, like Joe Edo. Like, I felt bad when it happened to Joe Edo. Like, he comes over here, and then even stateside, obviously, he's wrestling like death matches. We had a match with a bunch of broken beer bottles spread all over the ring. And, you know, we come out with some cuts and bruises, but at the end of the day, we're fine. He goes over back to New York. He has some regular straight up match. A guy gives him a plancha or whatever to the outside. Boom, snaps his leg.
Yeah. And well, that's the thing, because how many you've witnessed it. How many dives have I not accomplished?
Oh,
there was quite a few people that haven't caught me.
I've been
that is like, I mean, there are times where mistakes happen. That always happens.
Yeah.
But there are too many times where I see people not get caught, and they damn well should have been caught. And that's such a bitch move. To everybody out there that doesn't catch people, you're a fucking bitch, and I hope you step on Lego.
Step on fucking Lego. Because I remember we were actually just talking about this, and like this one was a total accident. It was my first singles match since 2017 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was me and Chris Logan, and we had such a fun match planned out. Like, he was excited to work me, I was excited to work him. It was like, you know, because it was both our first singles match at the time with HPW. And literally in the first minute, we planned a plancha. It was a somersault plancha, and I forgot it was a low boy.
Yeah.
So I kind of misjudged how far I was jumping, and then he kind of like wasn't sure of the gauge of the catch, whatever. Mm-hmm. And essentially I got power bombed onto the floor. And my head bounced off the fucking board.
Oh
like,
no.
And to this day, we still, like, now we look back and laugh at it. We joke about it.
Yeah, I mean, you're okay now, kind of, but like,
yeah. But in that moment, like, cause I even covered it on a YouTube video that I put out once. Like, you see me try to get up, but I couldn't. Like my head snapped, and I was like, I'm good. I went to get up, and my body just went right back down.
So I'm noticing a trend here, and I gotta ask. I mean, with all due respect, Mike, is Tyler the dumb fuck of the two?
A lot of people have said, like, Aero, what the hell are you doing?
You said it.
I've said it to you a couple of times, but then I'm like, as long as you're okay.
The amount of times I get one of these.
Now who's the older of you two?
Me.
Mike.
And do you find, like, do you play the big brother role, you find, once in a while?
I definitely do. I've played that for a large portion of my life.
Well, I remember when the No Ring North stuff was coming. Like, it seemed like he was getting a little bit of the big brother treatment from, you know, of concern. And, you know, what would you say is the, like, worst moment you've had where you're like, he's dead?
It was definitely, as much as it actually ended up being super safe and he was perfectly fine, it was the ladder match at Macabre Pro.
Yeah, Macabre Pro. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Just because the fall, the sound it made, I'm just sitting there, I'm like, oh my God. And he disappeared out of sight from me, and I just heard the loud smack on the ground, and I'm like, oh my God, I hope he's okay. And I'm like, I didn't want him to do it. So right after the match, I'm carrying him off. I'm like, please tell me you're not hurt. And he's like, no, believe it or not, when he threw the ladder at me, that hurt more. I'm like, okay, good.
Yeah, because the setup was throwing a ladder at me. I ended up with a bruise this big right here. Like it was like the size of a hand. And that hurt more than the bump. Even like the bump was probably what, 8 feet?
no doubt.
No, it would have been 10 feet because the ring is about 1.5 feet, 2 feet off
Yeah,
the ground.
but the bump is spread out, man. Like the other shot is acute. That's the worst.
Yeah. But like I can say definitely personally, I do see a lot of the big brother treatment here, in a lot of places. But that's kind of the thing.
And has there ever been a time where though, like, it's been the right thing where you've sat down and went, fuck, Mike's right?
The balcony dive that I wanted to do.
Balcony dive.
So the Germania Club, if
Yeah?
you've ever been there. Yeah.
I haven't been there. I know where I've seen.
All right. They have an indoor balcony. And I can't remember
Which city is that in again?
It's in Hamilton.
Okay, yeah.
I can't remember which match it actually was, but there had only been maybe 2 or 3 people that have done a dive off this balcony. I think one was.
I think 2 out of the 3 people was Scotty O'Shea.
And I think the other was Del Bruno.
Yes.
And then there was one more.
The only 2 that have done it. There might have been one.
There might have been. I can't remember.
And that's
though.
fucked up because those aren't guys where like that's what you'd see them do.
Yeah. But I can't remember what turned me off of the idea. But I knew when he was telling me I shouldn't do it, I just kind of had a feeling that he was right. Like even to this day, I still want to do it. But I guess it is also a matter of time and place, and it is a high balcony. So it's like if there's 2
it's
guys,
got to call for it.
Yeah, it
shouldn't be the thing. It shouldn't be the thing to make the match.
Yes.
The match should be the thing to make you do it.
Exactly.
And there was not really. It was our first time tag teaming in Courage Pro Wrestling, and we were going up against the champions. At the time, but it was like the first meeting.
Yeah.
Of the match, and at the same time, there was like 60, 70 people there.
Yeah. I was willing to do a balcony dive with 60 people and a crowd.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame you. I do.
People can't question my commitment.
People do stupid. 60, you know what? In the realm of independent wrestling, 60 people is a completely reasonable number of people to do stupid shit for. Maybe not balcony dive stupid shit, but like at least mild stupid shit.
Yeah, I mean,
we've definitely done some like dumb stuff in front of like 50, 60, 70, 80 people.
Yeah. I've done stupid stuff in front of wrestling for fucking 6 people in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. No
for,
pun intended.
For a slice of pizza, it was my paycheck. Like,
but actually, Mike had mentioned that was like one of your guys' first tag team matches there. How long have you guys, Wikipedia style question, if you will, how long have you guys been tag teaming for?
It's really hard to say given COVID.
Well, no,
it's still real time. I've seen you guys compete during COVID,
and we've also released all of our products and everything.
Yeah,
so if you want to go by the formation, I think that was July 14th of 2019.
Yes. So it's creeping up on 2 years.
I love it. He's like, yeah, if you want to go by, like, he's like really trying hard to think it. He's like, July 14th, 2019.
I remember.
That's a good relationship. That's love.
I remember certain things, but if I'm being honest, I couldn't tell you when our first tag match together actually was as Airstrike.
Our first time
was it September
as Airstrike? I believe it was September for the PWO Smash. We came up with the name.
Oh yeah,
we came up with the name, but by the time the match started, we're like, oh no, we didn't give him our tag team name.
Yeah.
So they just announced us as Mike Forte.
And all 4 of us were injured in that match.
Yes,
but not from the match. Not from the match.
Okay.
We were injured. We were all injured going into the match, and we still made the match work.
Okay, well that's not bad then. You just went in. If you went in with flat tires, not came out with them, then that's a different story. So like, were you guys tag team together like randomly at first? They just kind of stuck, or like you guys knew each other before and were like, this is what we want to do?
Oh yeah, we knew each other for almost a year at that point. Actually, by the time we started wrestling as a tag team, I'd say it was about a year that we've known each other. Because shortly after I had met him, I got sidelined with a really dumb neck injury. Just years of the stupid things I used to do snowboarding
Okay.
caught up to me. I literally turned my head, and two of my discs, basically, one went up, one went down.
Oh,
And,
fuck yourself right up.
Oh, big time. And it scared the crap out of me. I went to training a week later. I just thought I had a kink in my neck. I took a bump, and my arm did this.
Yeah.
Just dead.
So like everything for us was, it was weird how it all came to be. Sorry, I'm trying to get a piece of gum, but it's not working.
I don't know if he could see us.
Oh no, I could definitely see you guys.
Yeah,
You froze
See
up.
that?
And
I froze up. You know, he started chewing the gum, and I was like, "Oh, you know what? They're talking. I'm gonna sneak it in. I'm gonna sneak the freeze in and just act like I'm paying attention." And you know what? Now we're leaving it into the podcast. Fuck it. We're breaking the fourth wall.
let's do
there
it.
you go.
But yeah,
So I was on the shelf for about a year,
Yeah.
and we basically were kind of thrown into a tag match.
Yeah.
My first match back, it was Hamilton Wrestling Entertainment's first show.
Yeah.
It was in Ancaster, and it was Raunchy Nuts and Pretty Ricky against us and our trainer, Rip Impact.
Yeah. Long,
Okay.
Blonde, and Beautiful was
Yeah.
the name. Long, Blonde, and Beautiful.
And basically, I looked at the guys, and I'm like, you guys are stupid for putting me in the main event. It's my first match back. I've only got 16 matches under my belt, and we had a 25-minute match. Which
Well,
ended
I
up-
mean, sometimes that's a good learning experience. You know, you definitely learn you didn't want to be out there that long.
I think
But-
that was my first main event.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
and it was my first main event as well, and it went very well.
No,
Like,
it went 25 minutes, half an hour.
it went about, including entrances, about 27, 28
Yeah.
minutes, but it
I
went
never go that long either. So I mean,
but it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Everything went well, and scared the crap out of Ronch's family. I ended up superplexing him off the top rope to the outside on everybody.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
first time doing that, and he's looking at me like, you're nuts. And I'm like, I got to do stupid stuff too every now and then.
Now, I mean, I definitely defend doing stupid stuff. Everybody's entitled to it, and I definitely encourage it. So, Chad, if you hear me, you should encourage Mike doing more stupid shit. We need more. Yeah, point him out. There it is. So, you guys mentioned like you guys did get put together that way, and then the chemistry was just kind of there. Now, I've gotten a chance more recently to see that chemistry outside of the ring with this Hairstrike product.
Yeah.
Now, you guys gave me a fucking put it down. You'll get your chance.
Your return to us.
So,
All right.
like, how did this project come up? Like, I mean, I've seen the long hair sushi stuff. Like, where did this Hairstrike thing take off?
It honestly, like a lot of our stuff, to be honest, started out as a joke.
Yep.
The sushi,
As best things do.
Yeah, we don't have them, but the sushi tank top, I designed that out of boredom someday just because I thought it was funny. And we weren't going to sell this whatsoever. And one day when did we print them during the pandemic?
We printed them during the pandemic.
Yeah, so one day I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I mean, it's something for us to do. We can push it. If people want it, we can go to them. They'll come to us. Who cares? We'll sell it.
And it's sold pretty well, and a lot of people had heard us talk about going for sushi. We went for sushi a lot, and I've brought a lot of people to the restaurant here by my house to the point where like everyone's like, we can't go to any other place in Hamilton. That's the sushi.
And are they good?
They're very
amazing.
out of all the places
You
in
can
Hamilton.
plug them if you want to plug them. Plug them.
Atami Sushi up off of Rymal and Centennial. It's in the middle of nowhere. But out of all the places in Hamilton, it is the best quality sushi in Hamilton, and it's basically my measuring stick for all sushi places that I've gone to. I have been to places that are better, but in terms of consistency, like Atami Sushi just always knocks it.
Up until I've been to places that are better. You gave them money. They could clip that and put it on the radio.
Well, but here's the thing. Like the places that I've been to that are like the hot. It's those places where you're going to spend $100 on your meal.
Yeah.
This isn't.
No,
this
okay,
isn't
understandable.
Out of all you can eat sushi places I've been to, they're number one.
Yeah.
There you
Hands
go.
down. The only places I've been to that have like a higher quality are the ones where you go there, you're dressing up in like a nice suit. You're going to spend $100+ on your meal. You're going to get every penny's worth with just the quality and the stuff they bring in. But at the same time, I'm not going to go out of my way to do that.
Now I've got a brother. Him and his friends have went to all you could eat and been told like no mas, like that's you're done, like it's over.
No.
Have you guys gotten it?
It's happened to me. It's happened to me. I think like 7 or 8 times.
Does not disappoint.
Just see, for me, I'm
glad you didn't bring a rookie number. Like that's happened to me once or twice. You're like, no, I've got a gauntlet and then some.
Well, see, for me, I wasn't really the biggest sushi guy up until I tried this place. Like I went to like the August 8th and the spring sushis and whatnot on occasion. But once we actually started hanging out consistently, just before I think we started tag team, we went there a couple times with like a group of people after a show, before a show, whatever. And now it's like any chance I get, I want to fucking go. Like, and now I'm after a little over a year. Now I'm starting to try more of the stuff that I didn't think I would be interested in before. So I'm evolving.
Yep.
There you go.
The thing that annoyed me bringing people to Atami Sushi is I've had one person say, I don't like this place. And I'm like, oh, how come? Is I goes, well, I prefer August 8th and spring sushi. I'm like, oh, what do you like there that you like better? That's here. My ears are open. I'm like, if you don't like the food here, that's entirely your opinion.
Yeah.
But you're wrong, but that's your opinion.
But they were 100% wrong because their beef was I like using the iPad. I'm like, okay, what about the food? What do you think of the food compared to the other place? Like, oh, this place definitely has better food. I'm like, but you just said you like the other place better because of a freaking iPad. You literally just admitted the food here is better, but you'd much rather go over there because you want to touch a screen.
That's
yeah.
I'm like, that's
an argument.
I think the best all-you-can-eat place I've ever been was in Niagara Falls. I can't remember what it's called. It was this Brazilian steakhouse on the main strip there.
Copa.
Yes, I was there on a work trip, and they paid for the all-you-can-eat there, and you just got your sign. And actually, I don't work for the company anymore, so like the other assistant manager I was sitting with at the time, like total smoke show. So she had the attention a bunch of those guys that were serving up the meat, so to speak. And
so they were coming to you like this.
We got like the first cut of everything, and she's
so
this like physically fit woman, but she loved her food. Like I went to turn that side over to the red, like, no, I'm done. And she looks at me, she goes, "You don't do that again."
I need to meet this woman.
Right? No, I told her too. I was like, with service like that, I was like, listen, at the time, like I was married. I'm like, listen, I'm married and I know you got a boyfriend, but like, if you ever just want to go get like food, I'll go with you just for the service that you got us. And she was like at some place one time on the same trip and wanted a Caesar. And she asked if she could have a pickle in her Caesar, and they said they didn't have any. And then she sees somebody's burger come out with a pickle, and she goes, "Well, there's pickles for the burger. Why couldn't I get a pickle for my Caesar?" And I'm like, "Oh yes, every restaurant, you're my hero." But yeah, perfect. Before we got into restaurants and food and all that good stuff that makes me hungry, even though I just ate, we were talking about how Hairstrike is, another one of those things that came from, an inside joke. Now, obviously it's been produced. Is this like an all original product?
It actually is. Yeah. Our friend who's one half of Raunchy Nuts, Ronnie Randallson.
Yep.
He's a barber.
Yeah.
Okay. And yes, I have seen, like, I don't know him. I've seen a couple pictures and kind of grasped that. But so he kind of helped you guys out with this.
Oh, 100%.
He helped us out huge. Originally, people were the reason why Hairstrike became what it was they heard the name Airstrike.
Yeah.
And they're like, you guys do a lot of hair flips in the match, whether it's intentional or not. You should change your name to Hairstrike and sell hair products. Yeah. And the joke kept going to the point where I was talking to Ranch about it, and he's like, you know, if you ever actually want to make like any form of hair products, me being a barber, I have access to the salon supply stores. We can legitimately make an original shampoo for you guys.
So amazing.
But see, the big part about it, in the sense of it being a joke, was initially we wanted to make it look as cheap as we possibly could.
Yeah.
So you see.
Oh yes, I've seen the commercials.
That's the shirt I designed a year and a half ago. And
my idea was literally like, if we want this to be as cheesy as possible, let's literally scribble an H on a Post-it note and slap it in front of the A of our
And you
logo.
accidentally made it as awesome as it possibly could be. The thing, like I watched the video where you guys are trying to come up with the name and the logo and everything, and I'm like, man, these guys are fucking clowning, having a good time, and they're joking, but the words they're saying, that's legitimate fucking marketing advice. I'm like, that's actually a free lesson.
And that's exactly what we were going for there, though. Like,
it's like your parents giving you shit with a smile, like you're dead ass serious, but you know, like you're smiling, so it's like, wait, I can't tell. Is this a joke? And like, then I see this logo, and I'm like, fucking nailed it.
It's factual comedy. That's what that is. And that's the beauty of it too, because now we're at the point where it's, you know, let's spoil it. We're thinking of conditioner next.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
literally, you got it.
Literally, these two bottles that we're holding are our last two.
Yeah.
They are legitimately our last two.
Yeah.
Wow. And now,
so
are you guys just making the conditioner next, or another run of Hairstrike?
We're gonna. We already have the next wave of shampoo ready. We just need to get the bottles and logos made, and we're good to go. But while we're gonna do that, we're gonna start getting everything ready for the conditioner.
Like, is Hairstrike just something you guys are doing, like another merch thing, or was it going to something?
Yeah, it's really totally just merch. Like, it started out as a joke, but we're like, let's see if this sells.
All the stuff that we've done for a cause has all been with Hamilton Wrestling Entertainment. Every single show, it's a different charity. They did an autism awareness show. They did one to raise money for the Canadian Jiu-Jitsu team to be able to travel the worlds, because they ended up going almost broke. So we raised money for them to actually travel to the worlds. So Canada would actually have a representative in the worlds.
So no, I've seen you guys do some stuff like that, and I wasn't sure. I'm like, is it like I wasn't sure if Hairstrike was just awesome merchandising, if there was if there's a cause behind it, or like what, like just it was just that fueled idea where like we'd have to do this, it'd be too cool.
It's solely a fun merch idea. Like, literally, we're making Hairstrike almost like a branch off brand of Airstrike itself. Like we were talking about, I plan to start the process of making t-shirts with the Hairstrike logo. We're going to have the conditioner with the Hairstrike logo. There seems to be a demand for beard balms and oils for Hairstrike.
Well, you know what? I appreciate that you're at least not going to do it like a wrestling video game and just keep selling your t-shirt and then sell the H patch as like a DLC.
Hey man, you know what? Now that you say that, I think we should have done it.
Can you imagine if we somehow, some way, were able to make money selling Post-it notes with a scribbled on H at shows?
If you did it as a patch, a sew-on patch,
100%.
I guarantee you Matthew Grant would have it on his jacket.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Like, what the hell's the H for? Like, he doesn't even have the rest of the logo. It's just
no, but H. That's if you get to the point where they don't need the rest of the logo, you're made.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Now
When
that's
the
what I want
H
to
is
start
the
doing.
swoosh, you're over.
That's what I want to start doing now. To anybody like men, women, children that have this T-shirt, I want to sit at our merch table with a thing of Post-it notes, and whenever they come up to us, draw in an H and stick it on their shirt.
It'd be
And be like,
beautiful.
that's better than an autograph, sweetheart. There you go.
Yeah. That's literally our autograph. Just slap the freaking H on the shirt for him.
We got.
Can we get your autograph? Smack. You're welcome.
Now,
God damn.
so you guys do you guys get the labels printed up, get the bottles like it's a home operation, right?
Yep. Oh yeah. 100%.
So
like,
this is basically like all you guys. That's awesome.
oh yeah.
Yep.
Like us with Ronch's
Yeah.
help, has made this so much easier because I don't know where to go about it. Like I'm
I wouldn't even know where to start to get a custom formulated
No, yeah,
shampoo
exactly.
and conditioner.
And on top of it, he also has a label maker. So he literally like, what do you think of this as a layout? I'm like, that's perfect. We just need to get a label maker. And he's like, I have one. I could literally just on each one. And I'm like, you're the best. I'm like, you literally helped us with everything. The bottles he got at the salon place as well.
Yeah.
Like everything because like we can't actually go there and pick stuff up because you need to have your hairstyle barber license.
Yeah.
You have to be licensed in order to go into the store. Otherwise,
Yeah, no, I understand. I've seen some places like that.
Yeah.
So on the outside, because I'm not a barber, I can't go in.
Yeah. Because of him, he got us set up, got them to make the shampoo for us, and it's legit salon quality shampoo. Like there's no extra stuff in it whatsoever. It's not going to be like the $30-$40 stuff that you have to like pay out the ass for. That's going to give you like 50,000 special treatment things, but it's better than the generic stuff that you're going to get at the store.
And what's even kind of cooler about it too, because sorry, I had to take another whiff of it. This is the glue for my stupid ideas. But we don't really actually have a specific scent to this.
No,
because we were gonna go originally with lavender, and you know what? I don't care what anyone says. I fucking love lavender.
Yeah.
You either love it or you hate it. Like I had this fucking giant thing of lavender hand soap when me and my girlfriend first started dating, and she fucking hates it. And she'd always come over like, get new soap, get new soap. I'm like, I bought this big container and I'm going to use every last drop.
Exactly. Yep. And that's just it. But originally, I think they made it lavender at first.
They made it lavender first, but they didn't have enough to finish our batch. So Ronch ended up giving me a buzz saying like, hey, they don't have lavender. The other stuff that they have is like banana, coconut, vanilla, strawberry, blueberry, and I'm like, we need a more of a neutral smell. So he's like, well, they got a couple of floral stuff. Let's mix a couple of them. So it ended up being posy and this other wildflower, and it just smells like a nice, clean scent.
Honestly,
it doesn't smell overly masculine. It doesn't smell overly feminine. So it's like it's perfect because we wanted it for both men and women.
I was gonna say any review I'll say I've got, be it friends, family, fans, whatever, they've all said the same thing. They all love the smell. Like I just dropped 2 off to Buddy Caleb. Like I dropped 2 off to Buddy Caleb today. I like to call him my merch man and my helper of collecting of action figures. He picked up 2 today.
I've seen Caleb at a couple shows. I know who you're talking about.
He's at almost every show.
He's definitely a familiar face.
The first thing he did was open it up because he bought 2 bottles. First thing he did was open them up, smell them, looked at me and went, that is good. I'm like, I fucking know it's good, man.
No, but that's awesome. You know, it's not just a gimmick. It's not just cheap shit. It's actually good custom formulated shampoo. So it's not like, check out this, case I got on Wish. Let's label it up. It's genuine good stuff. So when they're restocked, everybody, you better get it.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's legit salon quality.
Yeah. And what I liked about it, and what a lot of other people are saying they like about it, like other workers even, is it's different. Like everybody's got a t-shirt, everybody's got a hat or whatever. Yeah. Nobody has shampoo.
No one's got shampoo.
Nobody. I haven't seen anybody.
Airstrike has fucking shampoo. That's it.
Next up is going to be chopsticks too. Custom
Oh my
Airstrike
gosh.
chopsticks. Boom, right
Just-
there.
Chopsticks. I have a friend of mine making hair scrunchies
Yep.
for us as well. Just some of the stuff that we had the idea, like with the continuation of this
Yeah.
into the conditioner and then
Yeah.
potentially the beard and balm oil
Yeah.
down the road as well. Like, it's one of those things
Amazing.
where it's like, this is
By
actually,
Christmas, you'll be able to get the Hairstrike gift basket.
that's actually an idea that we had. If we get enough
Yeah.
products, make a basket and then get like Hairstrike t-shirts, have like a raffle, and it's like, okay,
Yeah.
it's $5
Yeah.
entry. Aero pitched the idea to me, and he's
It's
like,
great.
do a raffle, like $5 a ticket. I have a bingo ball that I usually do for when we do the Royal Rumbles. I
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
like a list of 10 people, everyone gets 3 picks. We use the bingo
Yeah,
ball.
I do that, but usually with a hat because like I'm not fancy like that.
Oh, we'll make a whole big promo about this too.
We
Oh,
have
we'll
our
actually-
sushi
we'll go
on
live.
diamond platters, our authentic bingo machine to pick our Royal Rumble
We got our
numbers.
custom
You
shampoo.
peasants with your hats and pizza, get out of here.
No, like it's one of those things where I really didn't expect it to take off the way it did, because like I said, it was supposed to be a fucking joke at first. But that joke has turned into such a brand.
It's
now,
great.
basically.
It's
This is-
definitely different.
Yeah,
This has literally been available for 2.5 weeks, and these are our last 2.
yeah.
No,
And
that's
we
but you
got-
guys got more on the way.
Oh, 100%.
Yes.
So I mean, there's these 2 left. I mean, obviously, I'm guess are those 2 for sale?
Yes.
So I mean, I don't know if they'll still be available at the time of airing, but I mean, there's these 2 bottles. There's more on the way. Where do people get them?
You basically just contact us through social media, either through my Facebook or Instagram. Mike Forte through Facebook, Mike Forte HPW through Instagram.
Yeah,
You can plug your
yeah. I'll plug myself.
plug it. Plug.
Yeah, my Facebook, Tyler Aero. My Instagram is Tyler Aero. The second 3 is our second E is
Second
a 3.
is a 3.
That's a bit of a tongue twister. Same with Twitter, same handle. And that's about it. I don't use my email much.
And the other place you can go to pick it up is Raunchy's Classy Barbershop. It's the official shampoo of Raunchy's Classy Barbershop.
There we
Sorry, I had
go.
to- I had to throw in the
That's where we get it, and I'm assuming the same place we get Hairstrike is where we get all of the Airstrike merchandise as well at this
Totally.
time.
totally.
100%.
Yeah, definitely. No, that's awesome. When I see you guys next, I definitely want to make sure you guys have that on hand because I want some, but shipping on shampoo is just unreasonable.
Yeah,
I've literally
100%.
been driving to people's houses
Yeah.
and being like, there you go.
Well, a drive to Windsor is just unreasonable, but if it's been a lot of local sales, but I mean, you guys are in a dense area, like it's a hotbed for wrestling. So, I mean, that probably works out a lot for, merchandise sales for sure.
Totally.
I've got a few friends out in Elmer, just shy of London, Ontario. Sold them 5 bottles for my buddy and his brothers, his mom and his dad. They're all using it, and they all immediately. One of them put up a review on Instagram.
Yeah, yeah.
Couldn't thank him enough for it. He's like, "Yo, this is actually good stuff.
Yeah.
Pick it up." They goes, "Can I bug you guys for a conditioner down the road?" I
No.
literally messaged him like, "We're
That's
looking to get it done in the next month
Yes.
or so." So he got really excited for that, and he's like, "Yeah, we're going to be buying more." And he even said another thing that's nice is you don't actually need a lot, like a little dime amount. Put it in your hair, and then put in another dime, and it just
exactly.
Now, do you guys see this almost changing the gimmick when we get back in front of people? Is Hairstrike kind of gonna change, with the right reactions? I mean, it's already selling out now. If the next batch sells out in the next batch and the conditioner bangs, does this affect the Airstrike we see in the ring?
I personally don't think so.
I don't think so. It'll still be Airstrike because probably in the next 10 years we'll probably lose all of our hair.
You're not wrong. I mean, the amount
When
that
it
I've
becomes
seen-
hair on strike.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So I mean,
Well, Tyler's went on a little protest, but The contracts will be ratified. The hair will be back before you know it. Back to work.
Yeah, it'll grow back. It'll definitely.
It was just overly damaged, and he called me and he's like, I gotta do it. It's really bad. It's falling out in chunks and it's starting to look like a mess. I gotta cut it. And I'm like, yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yep. So you guys tell me about the Hairstrike thing. You guys have done a very great job plugging it on the show, on the internet. And as I had said earlier, one of the biggest things today for me was finding out that Mike Forte's voice actually is so charming. And you actually, when we were offline there, started to tell me something, and it sounded too good. I needed a pause. I wanted it for the show. So let's have it.
When you said beforehand, as soon as you heard me speak when we first started the call, you're like, oh, I guess this is the first time hearing your voice. I had to find out if it was a work or not. And funny you said that, because you're not the first person to actually question my voice.
Yeah.
I was at Battle Arts with Adam, helping him with like a little bit of renovation while I was there during the second lockdown. Because thanks again, AC, for letting me, I wasn't working, and he brought me up there like 3 to 4 times a week, help move stuff around, reorganize the place, and as payment, got to use the gym the entire time. So I couldn't thank him enough for it. Nice. And one of the days, Santino, Anthony Corelli, came back, and he had to grab a couple of things.
Mm-hmm.
So we're helping him out, being like, okay, where's the stuff? And he's like, I'm sorry, I didn't get your name. I'm like, oh, I'm Mike. And he's like, man, you have a fantastic voice for radio and announcing. I'm like, oh, thank you very much. And he's like, no, you don't need to keep working me. I already sold me. And he walked away.
and he's a man that like worked a hell of a voice for years.
Yeah, exactly.
But here's the thing: as he walked away to grab the other stuff, I kept talking to AC, and every single time I talked, I'd see him just kind of stop and look over. And he's like,
is he working everybody?
And he's looking at me, and then I kept talking to AC, and then he walked up to me, and he's like, hey, are you fucking with me? I'm like, what? I'm like, are you working me right now? I'm like, no, what do you mean? He's like, that can't be your real voice. I'm like, this is how I talk. Yeah. He's like, no, I've heard announcers talk before. It's not the same. I'm like, this is how I naturally talk. Like, if I get excited, my voice gets higher, but that's everybody. Everybody's voice gets higher when they get excited. But like, he's listening to me talk, and he's like, he just shakes his head and he walks away. And we're moving stuff again. I keep talking, and I keep seeing him stop and look at me, shake his head. And then before he left, he's like, you're seriously not fucking with me. And Adam's laughing, AC's laughing. AC's like, he's serious. Like that's his voice. And he's like, my God.
Just completely floored. He probably even once he fucking finally realized like that it was shoot. A small part of him was probably still like, this motherfucker's working me.
I wouldn't be surprised. I got to meet his daughter Bianca, I think like maybe a week and a half later.
Yeah.
And I introduced myself to her because she came by to pick up a couple of things at Battle Arts. I introduced myself to her, and she's like, your name's Mike, right? I'm like, yes. I'm like, you're the one my dad told me about with the voice that you wouldn't believe is real.
Yeah, and I wasn't there for this, but when you told me that story initially, I was in fucking stitches laughing. Like, that's too good. That like you said, someone who worked such a gimmick and such a voice and character thought he was working them or ribbing them. It's great.
No, like, that's great though. That's legendary.
Like, this is total shoot. I am not ribbing you, man. And then this carried on all day. Like, I was fucking howling about this.
It's funny because when I got to go train at Storm Academy out in Calgary, and the day we did promos, Lance was like, you have a great voice for radio, but there's some people like you're gonna fuck up with that voice. I'm like, how so? I'm like, you'd be surprised how nitpicky people will be in terms of booking other talents. He's like, they could hear your voice and be like, no, that's not suitable for a wrestler. It's like, you can either turn it to a strength or try and hide it. It's like, but some people like are gonna think you're messing with them when they talk. And I never actually had it happen until the start of this year.
Yeah.
And after it was done, when I was driving back with AC, I'm like, oh my God, this is what Lance was telling me about.
Full circle right at that moment.
It's like
that's too fucking good.
I love that.
I'm definitely glad. I'm definitely glad we saved that one for the show. With that being said, I definitely want to wrap it up on a high note as such. Let's plug them one more time. Where do we find Airstrike?
You can find Airstrike. Follow Mike Forte through Facebook or Instagram, Mike Forte HPW.
And this time I won't mess it up. My Facebook is Tyler Aero. My Instagram and my Twitter and my YouTube is Tyler Aero. The second E is a 3.
There we are. There we are. And you know what? I'm gonna change things up a little bit for this show. You can catch me on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, all that good stuff. Nice and simple at PD Skillz Show. But I feel like episode 3 of the PD Skillz Show can't get an outro from me when there's someone here that does it a lot better. So for episode 3, Mike, will you do the honors? Can you call us out?
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching PD Skillz. We will see you next time with episode 4.
And that's it. We are out.